Welcome to the Art Lady channel. Today I'm going to show you my bird of paradise plant and talk to you about its care and growing conditions. And right now it's about, I'd say 12 feet tall, 12 to 13 feet tall. And it's been in this spot for 5 years. Now I've had it for probably 15 years. And the first 10 years it really didn't do much on the other side of this arbor. And on the other side of this arbor, it gets a little bit less sun. And so when I had my pool built, I decided to just move it over to this side. And it has done really well. And this year, for the first time, it's flowering. And I'm going to show you the amazing, massive, gorgeous flowers of this. Here's a close-up of the plant that's flowering. And this one is about, I want to say 10 to maybe 11 inches in thickness. So it's really huge, this particular plant. And over the years, it sent up a lot of other pups and plants. Let me show you close up here as I reach the bud. So this is the really large, beautiful purple bud. And it almost looks like a giant bird's beak, the way it comes out. The bird of paradise bracts come out of this modified leaf shape here. It's the yellow orange in the very center. And then you see the two bracts that almost look like that bird beak right here that are purpley in color. And when I touch it, it rubs off some of the color of purple and leaves this like white coating. And it's very fibrous and dense feeling. It's not soft. And that's about 13, 14 inches long, the purpley bracts of the flower. And that forms two flowers. The top beak and bottom beak both form flowers. I'll show you what that looks like. Here's one of the flowers opening on this side. The bottom flower from the bottom bract. And then the top one is a little bit smaller. Right here. And most of the petals, they're all white with a little bit of pink. A pinkish purple near the base here. And they're quite large and beautiful. You can see part of the reproductive section here. It's that purpley color in the center. It looks like an arrow, a giant arrowhead coming out from the white flower petals. And this one has recently just opened up, so you can actually see the white, sticky looking pollen on that little arrowhead of purple. And the purple section's about 3.5 inches long. It's got the pollen. You can see all the pollen down in here. And this is pretty, well, I wanna say almost feeling like a tulip toughness. And of course this pod here is very dense, fibrous, and hard. It's tougher than like a banana stalk, but just amazing flower to see. There's a different angle of the flower. And then the plant just goes up, like I said, about 12, 13 feet. And there's several of them coming out. And this came from like a Lowe's or a Home Depot originally, and it was just in one small pot. And of course it's reproduced over the years. Now, when I transplanted it over here on this side, that's when it started taking off because it was getting adequate sun. And this is morning sunlight right now, and then it gets afternoon full sun, and late evening it catches the sun as well. But I found that the more sun is the better for this type of a plant. And when I had it over in this little corner here past the arbor, that's when it wasn't getting enough sun. And I also amended the soil when I transplanted it, and then I used a lot of mushroom compost, and that seems to work in my garden. And it's actually planted under this oak tree real close to it, so I'm surprised that it's doing so well and flowering. You can see here there's giant live oaks that are all in this area in my backyard. And I'm just tickled that it has started to flower for the first time. I was just growing it basically for their, beautiful giant tropical leaves. But having this finally flower is just really great. And it could be that I'm just, giving it more water now that I've retired. And I think adding the mushroom compost really helped. This winter we've also had a lot of extra rain, so maybe the extra rain in the winter time. This is zone 9, and we usually have a little bit dry winter. I also think, I don't know if this was the reason why it was jolted into flowering, but this had another pup coming off of the side to the very right, and I actually trimmed that right off. So I don't know if it shocked the plant into flowering, but right here, I don't know if we can see it at the base, I had another plant coming out. No, you can't really see it because it's from the ground. That, where you can see the cut, is where I cut some of the just giant leaves. But there was another pup coming off the side to the right at the bottom, which was about 6 feet high. And I just chopped that off so I could have room for some of these rose bushes here. And that was midwinter. So I don't know if that shocked this into growing the flower. Because sometimes when you shock a plant, like I know with oranges and grapefruits, if you cut the stem at the bottom a little bit and break some of that skin, it shocks the plant into producing flower. So I don't know if that's why I have flower this year or not. From trimming it, the plant thinks it's going to die, so it wants to reproduce. So it shoots out the flowers. But I would have thought when I transplanted it, that would have been shock enough to produce flowers too. I'm not sure on this species. So for growing conditions, make sure it's in full sun. And then make sure that you have, a nice rich soil. I amended mine with mushroom compost. And then I think it needs fertilizer as well, because I've been really fertilizing this area with some liquid fertilizer, because I have roses growing at the bottom, and I think that helped it as well. So try that. If it's not blooming, then maybe you want to trim some of it back a little bit, and that might send it into a shock. I'm not sure, but that's the conditions for mine to make mine bloom. I'm going to share with you one of the pups that I planted 5 years ago. So when I moved the mother plant from the right side to the left side of the arbor, I had some pups that were coming off. So I just divided them and planted them here. So this is after 5 years of growth. For me, it seems like they do grow quite slow. So this was planted in some potting mixture with some compost mixed in, and good quality potting soil. And I basically just let the rain water this. I don't, overwater those sections and those planters. On the other side, I'll show you, I had a ladyfinger palm tree, and then, which is a slow grower as well. And then there was a little pup I threw in too. And I keep on trimming the pup. I'm going to actually transplant that pup and just let the ladyfinger grow. But I've got to wait for my water temperature to warm up a little bit before I can hop in. But right now, this plant I'm really happy with. I'm going to trim her back a little bit. And then there are some pups in there that I'm going to take out. But this is a great plant to plant around your pool area because those giant leaves obviously don't shed much. And when they die back, it's an easy cut, and then I don't have all the debris in the pool. But also because this is in Central Florida, this really gives great shade. You see those giant leaves coming out over the pool. Here's another view of it. And when they come up over the pool in the summer, that's my favorite spot, because in the summertime, if I'm working out in the yard and I'm overheating, I jump in the pool, and I don't want to be exposed to that, especially midday sun. So the only shaded area is actually underneath these leaves. So I really enjoy this here in the pool area. Works out great as a great plant for inside pool areas. I'm going to show you to compare size. Here is the mother plant. I'm hoping it'll come out in the video. She is directly behind that statue. And she's, I would say, more than double in size. But I planted her as a good, privacy view for the pool and a nice backdrop. Here is the flower. You saw it just as the bud or beak shape in the beginning of the video. And after a week or so, this is what you see now, which is amazing. And I noticed that the purple part fades after a while. But this is just an incredible flower to see. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It really does help the YouTube content creators. And now I'm just going to show you this amazing, beautiful fan-like spread.